Hello, my name is Kira, and this is episode 24 of our Let's Play Sunless Guide. I think it's 24 anyway. But anyway, besides all of that, so you might notice that I have a new locomotive. It's the mining one, and it's a Pellemore class trader, and I think it's actually a little bit quicker than it was before, and apparently it's more efficient for fuel. I don't know. Um, but anyways, I've also got the assaying thing going, which is how I'm collecting otherworldly artifacts, and I don't know actually what to do with them. But sure, I have them. But anyway, so I've come back to the Clockwork Sun. I've delivered my what they wanted delivered, and I picked up some munitions, which is for the fireworks, and I have to take them to the Parliament Place, which is fine because I know where that is. And then we also had to complete our charitable mission. So I've done that. And it says, a new charitable assignment. The sequencer clasps his hands together. I can just imagine their smiles, it says. And oh, their wide, grateful eyes. And their misshapen bow ties, crying out for correction. He sends his orderlies to fetch your payment. There's a glint in his eye. I knew I was right about you. The sequence brought us together for a reason. We should send another package. Right. Another crate is dropped at the sequencer's feet by his shuffling orderlies. There we have collected a collection of antique but very much functional pistols, he says brightly. I was thinking we could send them to the London Refuge for the Lemmetry Parentless. I'm sure the little mites will enjoy the thrill of the hunt. How about we suggest an alternate gift? Success. An intriguing proposition. A sudden look of horror. Oh, says the sequencer. You mean they don't already have those things? Oh dear, it's worse than I thought. He snaps his fingers and calls for an orderly to return. A few hours later, your crew are carrying a package of tinned food and medicine back to your train, bound for delivery to the orphanage in London. Okay, cool. Well, it's better than the last one. Come on. I don't really sure if we should go back into the dome. Because we might lose more crew members and only have 14 at the moment. My ship is smaller than the other one, so I've got only 14 people. We can head to Azimuth. I haven't exactly increased my stats and stuff. Like, it's gonna end up being just as tragically bad as last time, so I'm not even going to bother. I'm going to just leave Azimuth and go to London and in actually no, I'm going to go to Parliament first. Either way, I'm going exploring. I'll see you once I come across something very, very interesting and worth your time. See you soon. Alrighty, so I've come to the mausoleum just to get a port report because I need more ministry stamp thingy permits to free the guy, the half glass guy, but whatever. But there was a funeral option, so I just clicked on it. Wasn't thinking much about it, which is why I didn't read it. But it just says the funeral of those joining the deathless are rare. Privileged onlookers are invited to attend when they occur for their own betterment. Interred in state, a favored Brigadier General stifles a sob as she receives her endowment of hours. Her division has come to see her off. They are rewarded with a significant proportion of her estate. A three-gun salute marks the general entering the innermost vault of the most serene mausoleum. There she will dwell in luxury and peace as long as her majesty reigns. Visitors to the most, so the rest is all the same. But there's a thing for the Chamberlain's disappearance. I'm going to quickly do my port report because I need to have that for money issues. But investigate the Chamberlain's disappearance because we know that the Chamberlain has disappeared, but oh, we succeeded. Lovely. The missing Chamberlain. The Deathless frowns on any discussion of the matter amongst their servants, but you manage to befriend a group of footmen over a game of cards. It's an issue that's been gnawing at them. With the Chamberlain gone, no one has seniority of the sepulchre, and no one has permission to correct the clocks that go wrong. When I last saw him, he was descending in the Dipper's vault, says one of the footmen, laying down a king and queen of hearts. We're not meant to go down there, so I thought it was odd, but I hardly go to stop him now, can I? Am I? Descend in the vault in search of the dismal Chamberlain. Let's do it! No one seems entirely sure which of the vaults is the deepest. The footman advised you to keep going down till there's no down left. Descent. It isn't long before your legs are aching. The vault seemed to offer much more of a down than the footman had implied. You passed the your last coffin long ago. It seems that there's nothing here but dust and cobwebs. There are torch brackets on the walls, but no torches. At first you thank the heavens you brought your lantern, but much further down, where the steps are crumbling away, you find that the deepest vault is bathed in harsh, red, unrelenting light. Okay, that seems a little bit terrifying. The floor cracks and creaks underfoot as though marble has become ice. Scarlet tendrils have crept ivy-like over the walls. When you pick at them, they crumble like scabs. Examine the strange vault for the traces of the Chamberlain. Let's do it. The trail ends here. Nothing forthcoming. When you place your palm against the floor, it becomes away sticky, hot, and red, as though you thrust your hand inside a freshly slaughtered sow. The entire vault is stained with something, the sickness in the air and the wrongness in the stone, blood-like but not blood. You search for the Chamberlain for what it feels like for hours to no avail. If you return with bright eyes and a cold hand around your heart, you'll find which you seek. Okay, I'm guessing I just don't meet the requirements. Well, I guess I'll return to the mausoleum. Let's contemplate the dead sun. Why not? The conquest of heaven. Smoke still rises from the sun's smoldering core. The wound that slew it is clearly visible, a great rent torn on one side. Star stuff, long ago since cooled, is the color of coal spilled into the sky. When Her Majesty entered Albion, she slew the sun with an experimental weapon, an unclear bomb. Then she claimed the sun's throne and dominion, leaving what remains here a clear message. Not even the suns are above the Empire's reach. I think we read that one before. Approach the deathless, why not? Visit the macabre. No, we still have to finish the work for her. We still haven't rescued her daughter. Let's visit the luminous cardinal, shall we? Timur Domini. The cardinal is unattended today, as he walked through the sepulchral vault of the mausoleum. His bright vestments are trailing along the flagstones. He notices your gaze and approaches. A footman hurries over to facilitate conversation. His Eminence is delighted to meet a skyfarer. He has many questions for you. For his new exegesis of the Bible, Genesis will need a considerable gloss in the light of recent information. The reach, verdant as Eden, the celestial gates over the Blue Kingdom, the infernal splendor of Eleuthia, and so on. His curiosity is quenched. He thanks you for your time and leaves you with a paternoster for your trouble. I've gained favor. Gained 5 terror. Lovely. I can't do anything else. Well, that's a bit annoying. I'll pick up a supply. The bazaar, like, I don't have anything I need to pick up from the bazaar, but I might actually pick these up anyway, because it's cheaper at the bazaar. And I can just stash it in my bank if I need to. And back to London we go. Oh. I really need better guns and stuff, so that's what I'm going to be next working on. But I will see you when something interest pops up. Something of interest pops up, that's the wording. Alright, and there we go. We can deliver our well-intentioned package. Let's see how that goes down. Deliver the sequences care package to the needy. Upon opening your package, the orphans begin to quietly and methodically distribute the food parcels and medicine. At the governor's urging, they thank you. Well, that's good. That seems to have gone a lot better than before. Is there any other opportunities available? Because we don't have any of the things that they want. No, we don't have a condemned experiment. God damn it. Well, we can always hand in our port reports for 3 ministry gratitude and so I need to go to, I believe. Okay, so this is the thing. I need to enter. Hang on. I need to visit the Perdurance. I don't know where the Perdurance is. And I don't know if I have enough of the thingamajiggies to go into the Perdurance. Which means that I'm kind of reluctant to actually touch the ministry favors that I do have in case that's going to, you know, mean that I can't do some of the things that I do want to do. Now, if that makes any sense. Where is the Perdurance? Is it a place or is it like... I don't know. Just don't know. I'm going to repair my locomotive. I'm feeling mildly confused, shall we say. It's not in the horological office. Oh! I have to talk to the horological office anyway about my encounter with the weft of unraveling time. New work. These outbreaks of unruly time are politically sensitive. I assume preventing or repairing them is beneath Her Majesty's dignity. She is, of course, terribly busy. Our office has been instructed to make such repairs as we can. We have invented the ravelling jacks, a simple hour looms that can reweave time-to-time fabric. If you would assist, we would pay for every weft to repaired. Unfortunately, the jacks only work from inside the weft, a delicate operation. I'm afraid the machines are fragile. My superior insists and demand a small deposit before you require one. Okay, give us one then. I now have one raveling jack. The jack is cumbersome machine with improbable number of arms and wheels. It comes with an almost indecipherable instruction on the manual and stern instructions from the office in charge of supply closets. We can repair it and we can get payment for it. Right, that's gonna be interesting. We've done everything else here, so that's fine. We can go and repair one of the wefts if we like. But where do we go to the Perdurance? That's what I need to know. How do you go into the Perdurance? I mean, go to the saloon. Where be the Perdurance, do you reckon? Maybe I need to look around more and look for a place that will have the Perdurance, I guess? I mean, I know it's not here, I know it's not here. It might be somewhere here that's more unexplored. So I'll just go and do some exploration. We'll see what happens. We've got plenty of supplies, we've got some money, we're in good nick, we'll be good. Actually, I might just go to the bazaar, see if there's any more new prospects. And there is bronzewood for the floating parliament and tea for the sun. Again, I don't think I have enough bronzewood. Oh well, what do? The next ship that I want is this one, and it's very, very expensive. But it doesn't... Oh, actually, it's got a rocket thing. Never mind. But anyway, we're off we go. See you soon if something interesting happens. Oh, there you go. I found a new place. The Royal Society? A new port? The Royal Society. Right. I'm not sure if this is a Perdurance, but hey. It has tea, and I need tea, so I'll take 3, thank you. Actually, I'll take all 5. Why not? Requisition. Let's just make sure we've got enough supplies, because we're flying a lot, and we've got the cargo space for us, so why not? Alright, now that we've settled all of the business parts of it, let's do some exploration, shall we? The Airy. Pretty mansions of stone and glass rise above the verdant gardens, while below machines whir and groan. A persistent sound of hammering pounds through the air. Mr. Manager is passing through. Let's see if we can get something, another scout. Because, you know, our bat is a bit meh. It nestles in the crook of Mr. Manager's neck, bubbling happily. Its eyes gleam with pale fire, like ones who had looked too long at a star. The sun-smitten bat has good range, returns after finding one discovery, and conveys little information about what it finds. It requires mere 25 or more to use. I can't get anything else, but some of them finds more things maybe. 3 discoveries. Oh god, I need a condemned experiment for this one. What does mine do? Oh, it's not, doesn't like me very much, does it? I do remember that. Well, I have the requirements. Let's just buy it. Let's get a new, bat. Let's replace our bat. Because I don't like our bat anymore. There we go. Got a better bat. Alright, Mr. Manager runs its gloved hand along its shoulder, attempting to encourage the bat to climb on. Eventually, Mr. Manager is forced to perform an undignified shimmy to roll the bat onto its hand. As the bat is passed to you, it looks at your face and squeaks. Its pupil shines like cut tourmaline. You are forced to break your gaze after a moment or two. Its eyes are uncomfortably bright. Mr. Manager begins to gather up his things in preparation for the next leg of his journey. He is gone to Throne of the Hour King, so he's going to the mausoleum. Alright, let's have a look at the Celestial Exhibition. To the delight of mostly himself, the mellifluous president is planning an exhibition in the Royal Society. Its theme will be the science of the skies. He's happy to pay visiting captains for items of interest they might come across. Okay. We can give an otherworldly artifacts because we have a few of those. We have more of those than the uncanny ones, so yeah. The miraculous president coos with excitement when he sees what you've brought in. Remarkable things, highly valued in the Blue Kingdom, I understand. He beams. Eventually he remembers your reward. Alright, well that's it. I'm not going to keep on giving them stuff. The Royal Society. The words Neuralus in Verba is written across the stoneworks above the great bronzewood doors. Her renewed majesty has granted these grounds to the finest minds of Albion to work here. Oh, yeah. Their purview is to invent, to hypothesize, to discover, and most crucially, to watch the stars. Introduce yourself. An offer of work. The mellifluous present greets you. He directs your attention to the new marble on the floors, the cheerful portrait of distinguished Royal Society members lining the hallways, and finds a very large portrait of himself in the plush library. We do like captains here in the Royal S. We need our space and, frankly, our comforts to think, but it's our brave souls who do the real work. Extremely educational, if not, our gardens are extremely fine as our conversation and the port. Right. We can write a port report. Let's do that first of all. Wander the gardens. We have 36% chance of success. Why not? Oh, we actually succeeded. That's a surprise. Into the green. The gardens were an early attempt by the society to stamp their mark upon the sky. More interesting avenues for scientific exploration quickly presented themselves, however, and the gardens were left to run wild, half-tamed. The overgrown gardens are beautiful but hazardous to a casual walker. You, however, are a veteran rambler. The ha-ha is no obstacle to your fearless tread. The foliage neither deceive nor divert you from your path, and you can tell from a mile off a bog is a bad idea. You find yourself in a pleasant faux classical temple dedicated to the suns. Someone has left something behind. What could it be? A triple locked case. Your engineer produces wire cutters. A picture of 2 lovers holding hands sit in brass frame. Something old and horned stands between them, seemingly rubbing their hands in glee. You gain 1 moment of inspiration. Lovely. We can go to the Nels Tower. The Royal Society's observatory is named for the King Charles Kennedy's mistress. Nels Tower is the jewel of the Society's crown. Arriving at the Nels Tower. A sign on the door in neat copper plate reads, Nell's Tower is closed for the 13th annual airy dinner. Leave urgent business at doorstep. There is a polite cough at your shoulder. Turning, you see a tall man with a beard like a nest of vipers. The superfluous bursar introduces himself. I came to round up stragglers, but as a captain your rank sufficient to attend the dinner if you wish to attend? Sure. Why not? The dinner is held at the mahogany and marble imperial dining room of the airy house. Every piece of the dinner service is mismatched, and both the furniture and the personage in the room is pleasantly rumpled. The superfluous bursar brings you up to the high table where the three senior astronomers of Nell's Tower are holding court. You're introduced to the senatorial professor, the chair for effulgent sciences, and the lecturer for imperial affairs as the first course is served. Dine? Um, I don't need supplies. So eavesdrop on the conversation. You can always pick at the vegetables. The supercilious bursar keeps everyone's port glasses well topped up as the conversation descends into fractious bickering. The disagreement centers around the orientation of the society's greatest telescope. The lecturer wishes to gaze outwards towards the borders of Albion, while the chair desires it turned on Albion's territories. The first course ends with a great smacking of lips and a general feeling of goodwill towards the chef. Talk to the lecturer, or talk to the sciences, or talk to the professor. The supercilious bursar passes a dish of buttered potatoes with an oily smile. The conversation continues, lubricated by Herculean quantities of port. Buttered potatoes, roast skirmings, and sautéed Hibernian mushrooms are devoured in between rhetorical thrusts. Let's talk to the lecturer, because she is rationing her port with water. I mean, that seems very smart. A government woman. The lecturer keeps her voice low and produces a pen from an iron bun. She scribbles on a napkin as you explain your recent history. They resent me here, you understand. I was a director appointed by Her Majesty's government. They dislike being reminded who holds the purse strings. The second course ends with the lecturer in imperial affairs telling a rather ribald joke and the hearty toast to the continued health of all present. Sherbets produced in London sweet shops. Oops, very different story there. Sponge cake from the Admiral's Nelson of Port Prosper, clotted cream and actual strawberries grown in the gardens, more port. The conversation grows looser, the tales more risque. The supercilious bursar leans in conspiratorially. I arranged these dinners to promote unity, you understand, and of course the good memory of our previous president who nobly argued for the introduction of the Society to the Wilderness and convinced the majesty of our utility. He toasts a large portrait of the area that dominates the room. Talk to the science person, I think, this time. She is drawing something on the napkin. A question of precedent. Are those limbs rays? She smiles widely. Something I saw last time I was permitted to use our great scope. Honestly, what's the point if we have to ask permission every time we move it? Did Isaac Newton need King Charles's permission to discover gravity? The third course comes to a close with great groaning and heartfelt but false protestations that one couldn't possibly manage cheese and biscuits after all this. Now I want cheese and biscuits, but anyway. The supercilious bursar leans in as the plates are cleared away. Before we adjourn, there's a question of patronage to consider. All eyes are on you. A hush falls over the table. The three faces of the astronomers are turned to you. The supercilious bursar continues on as nothing has changed. Our telescope is operated only by the will of the government. We are not allowed to move the telescope without permission. A bold skyfarer such as yourself might obtain such permission, or at least an official-looking document that could conceivably construed as permission. Our astronomers would be very much interested in patronizing you. You bring them a permit and they can advance their researches. In exchange, they teach you what you know. Right. Habit of the Stars, astronomer of Old London, or London's on appointment. London's on appointment, I think. We're trying to be in the favor of the government at this point. She smiles with something that approaches genuine pleasure. Marvelous, quite marvelous. Come to the tower whenever you wish to begin. Make sure you have a permit, mind. Okay. Queen's astronomers. Uh, Observe the clockwork sun. How about we do that first? London authorizes and encourages the use of the telescope. The ministry has stamped permit for this particular usage up to the next century, the bursar informs you. Oh dear. You press your eye to the telescope and the sun, 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 the sun! I guess it drives us a little mad. Deliver the lecturer in Imperial Affairs permission to move the telescope. How about that? This ascent to the telescope is arduous and up an improbable number of winding stone stairs. At the top waits a telescope, gargantuan and gleaming as a dragon slumbering in its lair. The lecturer yanks the mechanism to raise the dome, which slowly and noisily opens to the skies. She bends and begins to fiddle with the machinery, lowering the lens to her eye. Let's read the report. Incandescent fire on the horizon. A warning, a welcome. Sometimes I think it speaks in sigils to confound us. Dalton has proved useless as ever. Perhaps I shall make a pyre of his books and use the ashes to draw the correspondence in my notes. All this is to say, the heavens remain an enigma, searing, splendid, and sibylline. Oh, that's interesting. Perhaps not. Not for a while. Okay, so we've done Nell's Tower. Let's go to the Rochester Club. A cozy country house bolted onto the side of the society's glass houses and overgrown lawns. This is the meeting place of the infamous Rochester Racing Club. Alright, let's think about joining. Brandy glasses gleam on the shelves. Polished brass fixtures abound. A fire rose in the hearth. Members sit in comfortable armchairs comparing war stories. Parts salvaged from broken trains adorn the walls. Proving yourself. The dismal debutante curls her lips. The boisterous Harridan cackles. The current Lord Rochester laughs gamely before abruptly stopping. Oh, you were serious? He coughs to conceal his embarrassment. Well, should you really wish to join our married company, you'll have to prove yourself a proper racer. The careless Devilis in her smoked velvet jacket appraises you carefully. You'll need to prove your mettle, my dear, with one of our races, and we'll be happy to meet you. Sure, let's go and win a race, shall we? Compete in a Rochester race. Instructions. Lord Rochester claps you on the back. Good sport, that. The rules are simple. Get to the destination port and back here in 30 days. Then you can call yourself a true Rochester racer. Savvy? He calls for the orders of the club room and gathers the other racers around. A quick toast is raised to your health, and then it's on with the race. Reach the floating parliament and return to Rochester Club in 30 days. Right. Continue, I guess. Does it mean that I have to go now? Probably. Well, on that note, I'm going to say thank you so much for watching. We're now in a race. Hopefully we'll get there, and I will see you hopefully after we've actually won this goddamn race. But most of all, as always, I hope you have a lovely, lovely day. Mwah!